losing their collectivist little minds over Donald Trump. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. We knew it was going to happen. We knew that leftists would lose their minds over Trump's inauguration.
Donald J. Trump is now President of the United States. President Obama is the ex-president. And Mr. Trump, for the moment, steps away from the inaugural
What a great
address.
honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald.
Tap on the shoulder. You adjust the microphone as you told, man.
From protesters like that woman who threw herself on the ground to media elites having meltdowns, the Trump inauguration and the women's marches, or really just left-wing political marches on the weekend, all of it was a sight to behold. Perhaps the most disturbing tweet I spotted from one of our elites was from Saturday Night Live writer Katie Rich, who used a social media site to tweet about the 10-year-old son of Donald Trump. Barron will be this country's first homeschool shooter. Rich faced quick backlash and deleted that tweet. Now, Rich is a comedy writer. She likely thought it was funny. No one else did. The kids of politicians are off limits until they're adults. That is convention. That's the way it should be for all public figures. Their parents are the public figures. Picking on kids? That's just disgusting. Which brings me to this tweet from a reporter at National Post. Maybe Barron is a closeted Democrat. That or the kid has some serious resting bitch face. Now, Ashley Sinati took a lot of abuse on Twitter for that, and I'm sure plenty of comments went over the line. She was hurt by them. That shouldn't have happened, but if you start picking on the looks of a 10-year-old boy, it's going to happen. You shouldn't be going after the kids of politicians. Now, at first she defended her tweet. She's since deleted it and apologized, which is probably the right thing to do. Meanwhile, a supposed international affairs columnist for the Globe and Mail said that Trump's inauguration was worse than 9/11. Doug Saunders tweeted this shortly after Trump's speech wrapped up. If you thought you'd seen anything on TV as frightening as 9/11, this was it. But the consequences of this are far more damaging. Like many of you, I watched the events of 9/11 play out on my TV screen. The bewilderment over why the first plane flew into the World Trade Center, the horror as the second plane did, the reports of a plane down in a field in Pennsylvania, another at the Pentagon. We all watched as people jumped from the buildings, as buildings collapsed, as thousands of lives were lost. But to Doug Saunders, a man with an important position and impeccable left-wing credentials, the inauguration of Donald Trump is worse than a terrorist attack. Not that Saunders sees 9/11 as a terrorist attack. In defending his comments, he referred to 9/11 as a criminal act, not a terrorist attack, just a simple run-of-the-mill criminal act. The media coming unhinged was expected, and they did deliver in spades. Before the inauguration happened, Matt Lauer was on NBC worrying aloud about the potential for violence among Trump supporters, and of course, what happened? It was violence from the organized left, outraged that a man duly elected by the people was being sworn into office. Vox, the far-left media outlet, ran the headline the morning of the event saying, Donald Trump today sets out to make America great again. But what if it was never great? And of course, the great Paul Krugman of the New York Times actually tweeted about soldiers goose-stepping in the streets. These folks are convinced that Trump is the new Hitler, something that Ashley Judd made clear when she ranted against him at the Women's March on Saturday.
And I am not as nasty as a swastika painted on a pride flag. And I didn't know devils could be resurrected, but I feel Hitler in these streets. A mustache traded for a toupee. Nazis renamed the cabinet. Electroconversion therapy, the new gas chambers, shaming the gay out of America, turning rainbows into suicide.
Not to be outdone with Judd's insane rant, Madonna actually stood up at the Women's March and said she's thought a lot about blowing up the White House.
Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
And now Madonna's taking to Instagram to say, sorry, JK, I was speaking in metaphor. But is that going to be heard at all? And do you even believe her? We already saw the violence of the left that the left was capable of this weekend. The burning of a limousine, I bet that left a struggling worker or two unemployed. Rocks thrown, fires set, all in the name of overthrowing democracy while chanting, "This is what democracy looks like." The left says they abhor violence and they want dialogue until you speak to them and then get hit, like our own Sheila Gunn Reid did by a man at the supposed Women's March in Edmonton.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Go away. Get out of my face. I will break your camera. You do not have the right to.
Whoa!
Guys, stop. Let's calm down. Calm down.
You don't have the right to film me everywhere you go.
Yes, he does. Just like
Yeah, I do. You just hit me in the face. No, don't tell me to calm down.
I'm not
Yeah, you guys should move away.
You deserve to be angry. You deserve to be angry.
Well, that is the left summed up right there. At a women's march where they warn about the potential violence from the right, a leftist man hits a woman, and the women around protect him while stopping her, Sheila, from getting near the guy. If you lived through the Bush years, if you lived through the Reagan years, you knew this was coming, but I expect it's going to hit on a bigger scale this time. The media is going to be more biased than ever. The organized left will rise up. They're going to denounce Trump, and anyone that, never mind supports him, refuses to denounce him as a Nazi. They'll warn that the right is violent. The mainstream media will report that idea. They'll amplify that idea. They'll scare the world with that idea, and then excuse the violence of the left, the rhetoric of the left, the divisive and violent rhetoric of the left. It's going to be a long 4 years, which is why alternative media outlets like The Rebel are needed now more than ever. If you liked the video you just watched, never miss a Rebel video again. Click subscribe or head on over to therebel.media and become a member to truly support the media outlet that tells the truth.